Hello, this is Telomere and welcome to another repair video. In this video, we are looking at this Xbox One controller, and it's got, I think there's two issues it has. Originally I thought it was just one, but I thought it's got two. So first off, I've plugged the controller in. Here it is, got it plugged in, and it's a USB, micro USB is what it's using. And right here, we see it's connected. This is a program called, well, as you can see at the top, Game Controller Tester. Very straightforward. You can find it in the Microsoft Store. And I'm just going to go over to Classic Interface here, and I'm going to show you what's going on. First, I need to press this button and this button, these two buttons right here, just to activate. So now it should be doing its thing. Yeah, you can see this immediately is starting to move on its own. So you can see clearly that the right stick has a stick drift. That's easy enough to fix. We just got to replace the stick. Just take some soldering, but there's another issue. The other issue is this. Now you watch this, you will see it suddenly disconnect. I'm just wiggling the connector. I can feel the controller buzzing on me, and it's disconnected. Now it's connected. Wiggling it some more, it's going to disconnect again, I think. Yeah, there we go. All I'm doing is I'm just wiggling this cable right here, the connector cable. So I'm going to have to take a look at it underneath the microscope to see what's going on. Maybe it's just a couple of pins that are lifted. That'll be pretty easy to fix. And if it's not that, well, I don't think it's the port. The port looks healthy. So I'm going to go over and get this all taken apart. It's pretty easy. I've already started to take it apart before thinking, hey, you know what? I should record this. Now, just as the general feeling of this controller, it feels kind of rough. Feels very rough. The plastic is coming out here and there, and there's little pieces of plastic coming out from the screw holes. It just feels weird. Also, this is pretty badly jammed down. Yeah, I'd like to try to fix that. Oh my. I don't know what's going on there, but it's kind of gross. I think I might take this immediately over to my sink and just give it a scrub. It looks gross. I think I might do the whole shell. It's all kind of gross. The whole thing's kind of gross. Is it possible for me to fix these? Yeah, I think so. Okay, there's just some clips right here. I gotta get them up somehow. Maybe with this? God, that's gonna be hard. I have to use some pliers. I think that's about as good as I'm gonna get this to. Unfortunately, it's pretty mangled up. It looks better than it did. So I don't need to take this out. This doesn't need to go. Even that? No, never mind. That's how it's supposed to be. There is a couple of screws. There's one right here, and there's on the other side as well. And there's also all 8 wires that need to come out. And you just got to remember that the gray wire goes on the top, black on the bottom, and the red on the top and the black on the bottom for the motors. So that's all there is to that. It's also a different size. This one right here for the outside shell was a Torx T8H. It's making that nice and clear for you guys. And I think this one will work. It will. And this one here is a Torx T6H. There you go. If you don't take these screws out, you're not going to be able to get the board out in order to go and replace those sticks. It does help to keep in mind too, if you flip the controller around, you know that this is the one. So it does help just to take a marker, because right is becoming left and left is becoming right, right? And just put a mark on this side, just like that, just to remind you that that's the side that you're working on. Got to take these off as well. You don't really need to take them off at this point, but I'm taking them off. Oh gosh. Check this out. I'm going to zoom in. You see this? That's the housing that came off this side right here. There's supposed to be a little thing that holds onto this side, and it's no longer there. So this thing is super beaten up. Looks like it might be even slightly bent on the right side right along here. I see some sort of liquid going across it right there. Just remember that I need to check out the port as well. So you need to pull these little guys up right here so you can get this little piece of plastic off. Oh gosh, there's like liquid behind here too. It's gross. Why does it have to be like this? This is so nasty. And that means that I got to take these screws out as well. Now the whole thing, I think, will come out. I think. Maybe? Oh, no, not yet. This bottom part here is connected. I forgot about that. It's connected via a tiny little plug. Let's just take out this Captain tape. I'm just gonna peel it off. I have to. I'll put it back on later. But as you can see, there is a screw just hidden underneath there. If I can take this, there we go. Take that off. Let the headphone jack fall out. And let's get that screw. I don't usually take this board out because I don't usually have problems with the ports. It's usually just looking after stick drift. So this is a bit rare for me. Is there any other? Oh gosh, there's more. Okay, I've never taken one of these boards out before, I should state. So this is turning into the exploratory area. It's going to be pretty straightforward though, but vaguely exploratory. I'm going to desolder these wires, and I may as well go over to the other desk. Alright, nice clean tip. Let's get in there. We don't need to do much here. Just going to go and pull up. They're really close together. I was going to pull them off one at a time, but I don't think that's going to work out well. There we go. And there we go. That's one wire. Remember, gray goes on top, black is on the bottom, and then black is also on the bottom here. So we've got red on the top, black on the bottom, gray on the top, black on the bottom. I'm not using any flux. I don't need any right now. This is pretty clean, pretty straightforward stuff. It melts very easily. I believe it's just leaded solder. I should be able to remove this easily. There we go. Man, that looks gross. There's hair all over the place around this little area here. Just give it a quick clean. Nothing special, just give it a brush down. Put it somewhere safe where we know we're not going to lose our parts. And let's take a look at this. Is there hair on the back? Yes, there is. And gunk. Where'd my brush go? Now I understand why I was feeling there was like an issue, a weird sensation I kept getting from it, that it was the B button, I think it was sticky occasionally when I was testing it initially. This is from a while back. So I'm glad that I've taken it all apart. Okay, I'm going to switch over to the microscope here, because at this point I have no ability to see the fine detail I need to. There it is, the port right there, and there's the pins. Do we have any loose pins in here? No, we don't. No loose pins. How about that? Okay. I think it's just the clasp is a little loose. You can see right here. See, the clasp is a little bit loose. How about the pins on the inside? How is it? And how about the port in general? Is it loose? No, it's not. It's quite fine. It's not budging at all. Yeah, that clasp in general, and maybe it just needs a bit of a cleaning. Simply, I mean, like seeing the condition of it in the first place does make some sense. Simple as this: toothbrush, alcohol, scrub. How's that? Is that a little better? Looks better. Now we're moving on to the button. Not the button, the joystick. It's this one. It's this one right here, because it's missing its clasp. Oh gosh, that's just gross. Oh, it's gross. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add in a bunch of leaded solder. Well, no, you know what? Not even leaded solder. I have some low melt solder at about 100, that melts at 158 degrees Celsius. It's a fair bit lower than other stuff. I'm going to flood those joints with that low melt solder, and hopefully that'll do the trick. It's usually worked in the past for me, so hopefully isn't really the right term. I know it's going to work. Good enough for now. There is flux already present inside of that that low melt solder that I put all over the place, that solder paste. But I really do want to make sure that this works well. So I'm just putting a little bit extra. The next step, simply to apply some heat. So I'm going to clean my tip, and let's turn on the heat gun. I'm going to heat this up and get it out. Make sure this is angled so it just falls out for me. The problem is if you don't heat this up fast enough, the bottom of the stick will melt to the board, which is really annoying. So you want to get this out as quickly as humanly possible. And just remember, you do have other connectors here. Don't hold it in one spot for too long for your heat gun. You can cause damage to the board. Just keep that in mind. There we go. It's out. Bottom did not melt. You can see that quite clearly. The bottom is not melted. Nice. Very, very nice. Let's clean some of that up with some of the... Ooh, look at that. It's still jiggly. I'm just cleaning up some of that that flux while it's still warm. Oh no. What did I just flick off? See this? I think I just tore both pads off. So this is one pad. I got to connect it to this via. And this pad came off as well from this via. I can fix it easily enough. It just sucks. That hurts. I gotta go and put in some wires now. Both of them. I've got both of the pads here that came out. I guess I was being not gentle enough. I'm just cleaning this up with a bit of paper towel. Works pretty good. Okay, good. Nice and shiny. Let's get that other flux, the leaded solder that's still present there. I'm gonna heat it up, make it shiny, and then I'm gonna get my iron and some wick. We're gonna wick all this. We're gonna wick all this solder away. Flux it up. Lots of flux. Where's my wick? I'm using the what was it called? The 3mm stuff. And I was recently shown in another YouTube video I was watching about soldering using wick. The best way to go and utilize this stuff, the braided wick, is to take a chunk off of it, cut a piece off, and use it like that. So this is what I've got. And you use it with a pair of tweezers, just like this. And then you just bend it on an angle so you can work with it easier. And then you work on it like that. That way there's less heat being sent through the rest of the wick, and it's just focused inside of that one piece. It makes it a lot easier. So I'm going to go after that giant lump right there. This is going to be quite enjoyable to watch. Watch this. Oh wow, there was a lot there. Oh no! Oh, that's close. Look at this. Look at this. That was really close. I almost lost this one. Now I have lost this one. I think I've lost it. That's okay. Man, oh man, are these ever bad. I don't think I've had a controller this bad in a while. I think my only option is to just tear it away and be done with it. Just break it. There, see? I've now torn 3 of them. Ugh. I'm going to put down some more flux. I'm not being, like, that hard on this. Because I don't think I am. I guess I gotta be even more gentle. I'll try being even more gentle here, like right here. Just go right up to it like this, sneak up onto it, let it dry out. I'm just getting rid of that old flux. Being careful, much more careful this time around. It's all ready for a new port. Now, you'll notice right here that some of these pins are bent. That's quite common with these new, not ports, these new thumbsticks. I find quite often the pins are bent. So you got to go in there and just give them a quick straighten. If you don't straighten out those pins, it will be really difficult to get this to push in, the new one to push it back into place. Alright, let's beat her in. Actually, I'm going to take this out. I want to see what it looks like on the other side. Yeah, there's a little bit of flux on the other side. I just want to clean that up quick. Now, I can show you this, but I don't have it locked in place. I'm holding it in right now with my fingers in place, and I'm going to put a little bit of 60-40 leaded solder onto my tip, and I'm just going to put a blob. I'm going to put a blob of solder onto a couple of the connections just to hold it in place. The big anchor spots. So I'm looking right here, for example, that's an anchor. It's not working very well. I'm going to put a little flux on. Just like that. Okay, that should hold it. It's going to require a fair amount of solder and lots of flux. I'm just going to dab those on every single one of those places that I'm working on. And we're going to get those missing pads sorted at the end. So the way I found that it works best just for these is you put a little bit of leaded solder onto your tip, or solder in general onto your tip, whatever type of solder you're using. And you go up onto one of these pads and you put it to the base, and then while you're putting it to the base, you add more from the side. Just let it sit there for a bit. Pull away. And if you think that it looks a little bit on the dry side, you can just add it. Now you see this pin right here. I'm going to put some on right now, but at the moment it's not in a great position of, yeah, so I need to put something on it. This also needs a fair chunk more. There we go. It looks nice and shiny. Did I lose part of this pad? I did. I lost part of this pad. Not all of it, though. That's nice. Can I salvage this? Not a big deal if I can't, but it'd be nice if I don't have to. Yeah, it's not working. Let's start off with this first. But let's try the blade, the X-Acto blade first. Let's just try straightening off some with the X-Acto blade. Okay, I think that's enough. I'm going to do it with the others while I'm at it. This one, for example. Let's see what I can do with this one. So the wire I'm using is some... Oh, I don't see the... Oh, there it is. 0.1 millimeter. That's what I'm using right now. So it's super thin. It's about the same width with... I'd say about the same width as a human hair. Going in here with my very fine tweezers. Oh, yeah. Before I go at this, let's put some... It really does need some flux, and I need to get some solder on those points that I just made. Nevertheless, let's start off first with connecting this right here to this little guy right here. I think my tip's too big. We'll see. Once again. There we go. Connection 1 made. So I need to connect it to both of these at the same time. I need to connect here and here. There. Let's move on to that next pad. That went in very well. Very quick. I want to make absolutely sure that this adheres, and doesn't just adhere, but adheres fast. Just like that. Oh, wasn't that glorious? Look at that. Excellent, full-on connection. Flooded great. Now I did get a tiny amount of solder on the part right here, so hopefully I can get this connected right here. There we go. That one's down. Now I just got to get this bit in place. Just like that. Let's see how that goes. Tweezers in. That bit's nicely soldered. This bit's also very nicely soldered. Very good. Let's get this bit off here. I'm just going to grab it and wiggle it back and forth until it breaks. I would usually do the other way, but I think I should be able to do it fine this way. Just like that. Okay, that one's connected. Now let's see if I can just push this into the solder here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my tweezers, and I'm going to try to get it pinched at the very, very tip. Did I do it? I did. Oh, nice. How about this side? Is it still connected to this side? It is. Very good. Sorry it's not as bright as it could be, but the other angle has too much shine on it. You see what I mean? It's got way too much shine. This is a great angle for what I'm trying to do. Good. Man, that's nice and quick. Now I'm just going to dab here. I'm just freehanding it in the hopes that this works. Okay, that seems to have worked. I would have liked it to be a little bit deeper, to be honest. Let's clean up this connection that I messed up. I kind of dirtied up. It's got too much solder on it anyways. Okay, final cleaning. I think we're good. After I finish cleaning this up, I need to do more than just clean it. I need to check all the wires, because if these wires didn't hold out from just a simple cleaning, it means that they're not fit for purpose. It's done. Let's put some soldering mask on. That's way more than I need, but I'm going to feed off of that. So I'm going to take a little dab of that. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go right here because I scratched some away. Okay, last step is to use, what are these things called? An ultraviolet light? I've got a 10 watt, I think it is. Yes, it's a 10 watt. It sits there for all of about 20 seconds. I think I might also put a little bit of heat on it just to dry it out some. This works pretty good. It speeds things up a lot and prevents bubbles. Not like regular bubbles, I'm talking about pocket bubbles where you've got some that are dry and some that's not, you know. Here we go. I think that's relatively dry. Now I'm going to plug in my USB-based critter. And we're going to go from here. Across the whole thing. Let's put her down and turn it on. I think it sits 10 to 20 seconds. There's the first one. I'm going to do it another couple more times just in case. That's really all there is to it. You can see I do have some flux that's still around here and there. I tried to clean up this about as much as I could. It's not perfect, but it's not bad. Now I got to put this thing all back together and let's do some testing. Now, as I said, there isn't a whole lot I can do with this clasp. I saw that it was a little bit split. It wasn't terrible though. All I can really do is just try to tighten it up a little bit, just with my pliers. Okay, I think that's about as good as I can do. It's a little wiggly. Seems to be okay. Try squishing it down a little bit more. It is pretty nice and tight though now. That's about as good as I can do. I've cleaned everything else up here as well. I gave it a good scrub in the sink. I think I'm about ready to start putting everything back together. Wires are all back in. We're good to go there. Now there's some basic things that we can test immediately. So let's put these sticks back into their proper places. I have it back together enough that I could test. And I just want to see whether or not those Joy-Cons, the joysticks are working, thumbsticks, whatever you want to call those creatures. Here, let's see if it's all working now. Those are working, so they should be working. So that's good. How about this one? That's good. Very good. They're working. They're doing exactly what they are supposed to be doing. So we can officially put this all back together. It is working. I'm so happy that that was done and dusted. That took a lot of work. With I was way too vicious, way too aggressive with working on those pads. Just cleaning the solder off of them. That's what did it. I was just a bit too aggressive. I should have just dabbed on them and then it would have been fine. But it's done. So if you guys liked the video, please do leave a like. And if you want to see more of my stuff, subscribe. We will see you guys all in another video. Bye.